Number 6. Kraken meet evolution's tentacle. Glitch, the creature that Scandinavian sailors swore was so huge they once drew it as an island. Back in the 12th century, folks in Norway and Iceland told tales of it creating whirlpools big enough to swallow ships and whales. Sound like a blockbuster. Fast forward to the year 1853. A giant squid washes up on a Danish beach. Naturalist Japetus Steenstrup shrugs and goes Kraken nah. Let's call it Architeuthis duck. About 43 to 46 feet long, weighing as much as a floating school bus, it hangs out nearly 3,300 feet deep. In the 1700s, sailors thought it was a ship-crushing monster. Modern science says relax. It mostly just munches shrimp. Its only real enemy, sperm whale. And if you think that's scary enough, meet the cousin, the colossal squid, heavier, uglier, and armed with rotating hooks on its tentacles. Yeah, hooks. Straight out of Monster Hunter. Picture Kraken as the final boss in Subnautica, dozens of feet long eyes the size of manhole covers with its own biolights. Meanwhile, humans argue over LED efficiency. It's got high beams at 3,000 feet below sea level. So is Kraken real? Yes, but it doesn't eat ships. It eats other squid. And with 95% of the ocean unexplored, if your GPS ever goes haywire, congratulations, you just got added to Kraken's friend list. Number 5. Troll, meet the misunderstood ancient neighbor, or as the Scandinavians call it, a troll. Not the internet kind. The original version, big, ugly, and blocking bridges for tolls. In Norse myths, trolls live deep in mountains or caves, avoiding humans and sunlight, sometimes literally turning to stone if caught in it. They were symbols of raw power and wilderness, terrifying, yet fascinating to early humans. Here's the twist: trolls might not be made up. They could be the fading memory of Neanderthals, humanity's beefy cousins who lived alongside Homo sapiens. Around 40,000 years ago, imagine modern humans and Neanderthals hunting together in caves, prominent brows, flat noses, massive bodies, honestly a little monsterish. When Neanderthals went extinct, those stories morphed over thousands of years, from strange mountain neighbor to man-eating beast. Science calls it an evolutionary memory. Folklore calls it a legend. Think of trolls as the first NPCs in human history, gatekeepers, hidden bosses. Neanderthals beta test humans' flawed design but insanely strong. Trolls are basically fan art from evolution. Next time someone calls you a troll, smile. You might just be living archaeological proof that history still walks among us. Number 4. Cyclops, meet evolution's ancient prank, the one-eyed giant that made ancient Greeks think Earth once had misengineered humans. It all started when Greeks stumbled upon dwarf elephant skulls on Mediterranean islands. Never having seen an elephant, they saw the massive hole in the center of the skull and concluded, yep, one giant eye. Totally human. And just like that, Cyclops was born, not imagination but a nostril. Modern paleontology calls it one of history's greatest mix-up. The Greeks accidentally turned dwarf elephants into mythological monsters. Even funnier, that mistake inspired two Cyclops types, the divine blacksmiths, crafting Zeus's lightning, and the sheep-eating brutes from Homer's Odyssey. From artisans to meat-eaters, same creature, different editor. Cyclops is basically prehistoric fan fiction. Seeing bones, humans imagined a boss monster. Kind of like spotting a crater on Mars and declaring alien pyramid detected, only in this case the story got canonized into mythology. So Cyclops isn't fake. It's just a nostril taken way too seriously. And if you ever feel misunderstood, don't worry, the Greeks were there first. Number 3. Bunyip, meet Australia's remix monster, the creature that made every swamp and billabong a no-go zone at night. Bunyip supposedly lurks in wetlands, letting out terrifying growls. Its shape: pick a flavor seal giant, dog, horse head, emu head, sometimes even a crocodile-bird hybrid. Indigenous Australians called a swamp bird whose call matched the bunyip's growl, the bunyip bird perfectly syncing with the legend. One of the coolest theories: bunyip is a cultural memory of extinct megafauna, like Diprotodon, a wombat-sized marsupial that hung around waterholes. Locals even mistook fossils for bunyip bone. European settlers got caught up in bunyip fever, displaying a supposed bunyip skull in 1847, later identified as a deformed foal. If bunyip were a video game boss, it's a swamp boss, with multiple skins, seal, horsebird, hybrid, you name it. Every encounter a fail for the unprepared. It's not one creature, it's a remix of memory, nature, and cautionary tales. So is bunyip real? Yes, just not one single monster, but a mashup of imagination, history, and biology. Number 2. Leviathan, meet deep sea endgame boss, the creature that earned an entire chapter in the Bible as evidence. Yeah, God made this one just to freak humans out. In Job, Leviathan is described as armored, razor-toothed, and yes, breathing fire. Fire underwater. Sounds like a Dark Souls boss more than a real animal. Versions of this invincible sea monster show up across ancient Near Eastern mythology. Lotan, the seven-headed sea serpent, Tiamat, Babylon's chaos goddess, Jörmungandr, the Norse world serpent. Basically a whole family of giant sea snakes. Then in 2008 science dropped the plot twist: fossils of a giant predatory sperm whale found in Peru, named Leviathan melvilli, a nod to Leviathan and Herman Melville. Unlike today's squid-munching sperm whales, Leviathan was a top-tier predator, nearly 60 feet long teeth, about 14 inches bigger than a human forearm. It hunted whales and squared off with Megalodon. Turbo sperm whale versus Titan shark. Battle Royale Ocean Edition. If today people worry about sharks, Leviathan back then was Godzilla underwater. With 90% of the ocean still unexplored, who knows what's lurking? If the ocean had a backstage, Leviathan is probably sipping coffee down there. Is Leviathan real? Yes, just not fire-breathing. It breathes pure terror. And until we dive into the abyss, that legend still swims below the waves. Number 1. Chupacabra. Meet Hollywood's bloodsucker, the modern monster that freaked out the Americas in 1995 and turned out to be a movie fan. Legend begins in Puerto Rico. Livestock found dead with 2 perfect neck punctures and 0 blood. The press called it Chupacabra, goat sucker. Panic spread, people guarded their flocks. Journalists got months of material. Witness Madeline Tolentino described it about 4 feet tall, gray skin, red eyes, bipedal spikes down the back, basically an alien boss. Plot twist: investigator Benjamin Radford noticed Tolentino's description matches Syl from Species, a film she watched just before her encounter. Early Chupacabra may have literally stepped out of the theater. By the early 2000s, the legend morphed in Mexico, and the United States. Chupacabra became hairless, gray, 4-legged, sick-looking canines. Lab tests. They were coyotes or prairie dogs with sarcoptic mange, losing hair, thickened skin, looking terrifying. Neck punctures, just normal canine predation. If Kraken is deep-sea endgame, Chupacabra is 20th century urban glitch, half Hollywood movie, half nature's software bug. Real, yes, but 2 monsters, one from film, one from disease. And blood-sucking, just natural fluids settling. Chupacabra is not a mystery. It's a horror movie broadcast in real life. Welcome to Beats Lore, decoding the weirdest legends, monsters, and myths ever told. Next time we open a new top list. Which theme do you want? A. Evolution's failed monsters. B. Extinct creatures that look alien. C. Forgotten rulers of prehistoric Earth. Type A, B, or C+. Why in the comments. We'll read them all and pick the next episode's winner. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Don't miss the next adventure where nature might still be hiding its final boss somewhere in the deep sea.